What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be discussing my top 5 wants that I want to see or I think are most important to have in Palia. Now, if you do like the video, please go ahead, leave it a like and subscribe to the channel. They are two of the most helpful things that you can do to help me grow my channel. And also let me know in the comments down below what you want to have included in Palia. What are the top 5 most important things to you? Now, my number 1 want, and this was raised in the last Ask the Team, was the option to hide yourself from other players or friends when you're in game. Don't get me wrong, playing with friends is absolutely fantastic, but there are times in the game where you just want to sort of step back away from everything and everyone and just do your own thing. There will be times where friends see you online and request to join your world or your party, and there are times where you're just not in the mood. So I think one of the most important things, especially for this social MMO, is to have the option to turn off your visibility. Number 2 are mounts, and mounts that are fairly accessible from the start of the game. This world is said to be quite expansive, and we have seen potential mounts in the trailers. So I want to have an option where you can get a mount and have a mount very early. Now, the reason why I keep harping on about having a mount early in the game is for a couple of reasons. For one, it's going to allow us to explore the world more. Pretty obvious. The second is that I've just finished playing Final Fantasy Online, and I'm also playing Lost Ark, and they have a very different approach to the mount in the game. Lost Ark, you get the mount within the first hour of the game. Final Fantasy, not so much. You have to play through about, I think, 10 to 15 hours of the game before you even get the mission for the mount. And then once you get that mission for the mount, you have to join some team, get some currency, exchange that currency into another currency, take that new currency back to someone else, and then you buy a mount. It felt so unnecessary. So when we have mounts in the game, or I'm hoping we do, I want that to be a very easy transaction between whoever we get them from and the player. Make it easy, make it an enjoyable experience, and a feature that won't feel like it's going to be dreaded by players. The next one, and probably the biggest one on this list that's going to get the most controversy, is the monetization model of this game. There are many different monetization models that games have these days, especially MMOs, but for me personally, in my own personal opinion, and it's completely okay that you disagree with this, I don't want a monthly subscription service. I cannot stand monthly subscription services. I know people like them, I know people love them, I know other people hate them, but for me personally, I don't really play games that have ongoing monthly subscription services. I'm more in the camp of you either pay for it once and then you have in-game purchases, or you have it free to play and then the money comes in from the in-game purchases from the stores. Now, those two monetization models also come with their own pros and cons. So when you have a game that has an upfront purchase, you are increasing the barrier to entry to the game from the start. There are some players out there who might be very curious about the game and want to try it, but not curious enough to put money forward for day one. So I think that if you're gonna have an upfront fee to get people into the game, you're going to be cutting off a fairly significant part of your player base just for those people who are curious, who might continue playing if they just tried the game for free. The other option, as I said, is make it free to play and have the game rely on in-game purchases. However, that also means that you could go down the route of making things free to play but giving people an unfair advantage through the items in the shop. So you really need to balance that method out if you are going to go down the free to play route. I think for me personally, if they can achieve a great balance with the free to play, I think that would be the best way to go about it. It means that more people can try the game for free and see if it's going to be something of interest to them. And also people can pay for things in the stores like different mounts or different aesthetics for their house. Not necessarily things that will give them an advantage on other players, like pay for convenience or anything like that, or any kind of advantages when it comes to resource gathering or anything like that. I don't like that pay to win sort of model, but just things where you can sort of show off and flex on other people in the game. So different mounts, different skins, possibly different aesthetics for your houses or anything like that. I think that would be a great balance. Again, Free to play for me isn't pay to win. I don't like that model. I just want the game to have, I guess, as open access as possible, so as many people can try the game as possible, and just really lowers that barrier to entry for as many people as possible. But guys, let me know your thoughts on the monetization model that you want to see the most. As I said before, if they could nail the balance for the free to play and not turn it into a pay to win, I think that's going to be the best route. If not, the other option is obviously pay for the game once and then have every other purchase made within the game. Now, number 4 is going to be pets. I do want pets in this game, and this has been alluded to in some artwork, and the team have also said in their Discord that they'll be very, very surprised if they don't incorporate pets into the game at some point. However, I don't just want someone that follows you around, I want a full complex system around the pets. Let's call it a happiness meter or a friendship meter or a companion meter or something like that. Something that forces you to actually engage and establish a bond or relationship with your pet. And the more you interact with your pet will benefit you later on in the game. But what do I mean by this? Well, here's an example. Let's say that you interact with your pet quite a lot. You feed it, you play with it, all that sort of stuff. Its happiness meter or companion meter, whatever you want to call it, goes up. As a result of your interaction with your pet and forming a real bond with it, it can then help you when you go out into the world. So let's say that you're foraging or you're mining. Let's say that if you have a higher happiness meter, companion meter, whatever, you're going to have a higher chance of a rarer item or rarer resource appearing in your inventory. Conversely, if you don't interact with your pet that much, those percentage or rate of those drops will go down. I think if this model is going to be fleshed out properly, it will establish a real bond with your pet. And even if you're going out to explore alone, you'll never be alone because you'll have that bond with your pet. And it's also going to help you in gathering resources, some rarer resources that you might need for builds for your farm or your house. Speaking of builds, number 5 is I want complex builds and structures for your property or for your farm. Since this is more of a social MMO, a lot of that emphasis on combat has been taken out and the focus has been moved toward making a cozy, comfortable kind of MMO. This means that things around resource gathering and construction needs to be very, very interesting and engaging to hold players' attention. This is why I want complex structures on your property or your land or whatever you get to keep you involved and gain a real sense of progression, so you can look back at your farm when you first got it and after maybe 50 to 100 hours in, and you'll see how far that's progressed because of your own hard work. For an example, you might have to start off the game with a watering can, but as you level up, you can level up to a full irrigation system, which means that your plants are being watered automatically while you're out adventuring and exploring different lands. And you can even take a few things from Slime Rancher. I know there's other games that have complex builds as well, like Minecraft and other games, but the one that comes to mind for me is Slime Rancher, where they have a lot of automated machinery once you're leveling up and have acquired enough currency in the game. So not only does this make the grind seem more appealing because it's something to work toward, but as I said before, it really gains you that sense of progression and you actually feel quite proud of how far you've come in the game and what your work has resulted in. But guys, those are my 5 things that I want to see in Palia. Let me know in the comments down below, what are the most important things that you want to have in Palia? And also, please let me know what monetization model do you think would best fit this game. If you like the video, please go ahead and leave it a like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with Palia news. And as always, take care out there, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.